Sometimes how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie. White in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I will slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Gerri Lee Peterson Radio Show.
What a weekend. It was good. It went by fast, though. Or it seemed like it was long. I'm not sure. I was thinking this morning, looked like I had a long weekend. But it was great. I hope you had one. I'm Gerri Peterson, uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Taking your phone calls at 888-775-3773, 888-77-JESSE. This is election year, and most people believe that Obama is out of there and a new person is coming in, Republicans, to take over and save this great nation. But there are folks out there who don't believe that at all, and they are working hard to keep Obama there. As you know, in the first election, Obama received something like 96% of the black votes, and they believe he was the second coming of Christ. The last poll I saw, I'm not sure what it is today, said that between 80 and 90% of black Americans said that they would vote for this guy again. I have with me Gerri Hall. She is the vice chairwoman of the Genesee County Democratic Party and this Black Caucus in Flint, Michigan. And there was an article recently written about Gerri's commitment and effort to re-elect Barack Obama. She is a strong supporter of him and believes that he should and deserve to be re-elected. She's here to talk to us and take your phone calls on this. Gerri, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Peterson. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Very interesting story about you in the LA Times. Let me ask just a little bit about your background. Are you a Christian?
Absolutely. I'm a member of Ebenezer Ministries here in Flint, Michigan. It's a wonderful Christian church, and we promote family first, God first, family second, and of course, community third.
That's right. And are you married with a family?
I have a son and a granddaughter. I'm a single woman at this time. I'm divorced.
Oh, okay. I read in the LA Times that you are you're giving all you got to re-elect Barack Obama. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely. I think that African Americans specifically, and all Americans in general, should work very hard this year in our efforts to re-elect President Obama. As you probably know, if I may put this in perspective, President Obama inherited 8 years of the Bush administration, basically pro-big business. He inherited a spiraling economy, and when the median income was dropping at that point, he had 2 wars. The financial market was in shambles. The manufacturing industry was on the decline. And the Republican Congress was not, of course, assisting President Obama in obtaining his visions for America. Now, that left our economy very vulnerable. But I believe that the fix can be done. It's just not going to happen day after tomorrow, I believe, as President Clinton indicated. It's going to take time. So African Americans have not lost hope in our president.
Why should
we know that he has been restricted primarily because of this Republican Congress.
When you say restricted in what way?
Restricted because when he presents bills, when he presents his ideas, and for that information to Congress, because the House is basically Republican, they're not even entertaining those ideas. It appears to me to be conflict simply for the sake of conflict. That is not going to help Americans.
When you say that black folks should be interested in re-electing Barack Obama particularly, but all Americans should, why should black folks be concerned about re-electing Obama?
Because we are concerned about America.
In what way are you concerned?
We're concerned because right now our economy is not where it should be. And it is simply not because we have President Obama as our president. We elect legislators to go to Washington to work for the people of America, not for their individual personal interest. President Obama has done a lot of things in his first 2 years of office to help us, and some of those things are, of course, the Recovery Act, the $789 billion economic stimulus plan, the affordable health care, Wall Street reform. He's ended the war in Iraq. He's had middle-class tax cuts.
Let me go back to something you said. You said that black folks should be concerned because the economy is not where it should be.
And President Obama has ideas to help us.
But most black people don't take care of themselves. The government take care of them. So are you saying that?
I would disagree with that. I wouldn't say most black people.
So are you saying that black people
who
are you saying
rely
that
on the government? Most black people, in my opinion, are hard-working Americans
Where are
who
they?
are trying to live the American dream.
Where are they?
A lot of them are right here in Michigan.
No, Michigan is hell. You can't. I was just telling the audience that I passed through Flint, Michigan last year, and I was warned ahead of time to drive through Flint really fast because of crime is out of control. Black people have lost their mind there.
Well, I wouldn't say they've lost their mind. We do have a problem with crime, and that's because we have a $15 million budget deficit here in the city of Flint. But that's primarily attributable to
it's not necessarily
the manufacturing industry.
It's not necessarily because of the economy. It's because of the broken family there in Flint and Detroit. And these boys and girls have been raised by angry black mothers who rely on the government. That's why they vote for people like Obama so they can keep their stash coming in, their welfare check coming in.
Well, I mean, that's one opinion. That doesn't happen to be my opinion. Now, in my opinion, the people here in Flint, Michigan, would gladly go to work if we had jobs. And as I indicated, you know that Michigan is one of the manufacturing industries with the big three right here in Michigan.
Right.
So the manufacturing sector has been going on a spiral for the last 10 years. So those jobs that we would have had are not available for us to have. Obviously we're going to have to diversify our economy.
Did you vote for Obama the first time around?
Absolutely, I did.
And did you know a lot about him at the time that you voted for him?
Yes, I did. I did research on the president and his background, and he is and was, at that time, very qualified to lead our country.
What made him qualified? He never had a business before. He had only been in the Senate maybe a year at best. What made him qualified? He was a community organizer. Other than that, he had no experience. What made him so qualified in your mind?
In my mind, what made him qualified was that he did have the legislative experience. He had worked with a grassroots individual, and he had worked with individuals in Congress, such as the Kennedys and those guys who had mentored, in my opinion, President Obama and helped him to understand what America needs. America needs a vision.
Were you concerned about in the beginning?
Bring America back.
The first time around, were you concerned about Obama and that he sat under Jeremiah Wright Jr. for 20 years?
That was not a concern for me. I know the media blew that out of proportion.
Hold that thought for me. Let me take a break. We'll come back to that. 888-775-3773. 888-77. Jesse, back in a moment. Okay, folks, welcome back. Jesse Peterson is here. Behind the headlines guy, one of the smartest white men on this side of heaven will be here in the next hour. I'm talking with Gerri Hall and taking your calls at 888-77-53-773. Gerri is the vice chairwoman of the Genesee County Democratic Party and its Black Caucus in Flint, Michigan. She was a part of an LA Times article last month, and it talked about how Gerri is hell-bent on getting Obama reelected. So I wanted to have her on. She is a Christian, and she believed that Obama deserves a second term. According to the Grio.com, 49% of blacks feel the country is on the right track versus 25% of the total population. That means that 75% of overall people think we're on the wrong track. And one more little FYI, in Flint, Michigan, where Gerri lives, unemployment is at 16.5%, but local analysts there believes it is really 45%, including those who have quit. In 2008, the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, won Michigan with 57% support. And that was a major showing for that area. Gerri, I asked you about Jeremiah Wright Jr. You voted for Obama the first time around.
Yes.
And I asked you, were you concerned in that Obama sat in Jeremiah Wright Church for 20 years?
No, I personally am not concerned about that. I think the media, in my opinion, the media has blown that out of proportion back in 2008. You can sit and listen to someone, but that does not mean that you share each and every belief that that person has.
But Jeremiah Wright Jr. Married, he and Michelle baptized their children. He donated money to Jeremiah Wright Jr. Obama said that Jeremiah Wright Jr. is like an uncle to him. So it's real personal.
It may be personal, but it does not mean that you share every belief that the Reverend has.
Do you believe Jeremiah Wright Jr. is a racist?
I'm not qualified to say anything about that because I don't know the man, so I can't say that he's a racist.
Oh, I see. I want to play something quickly for you and get your response to Jeremiah Wright Jr.
And helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme. The United States government has failed.
He blamed the government for the problems in the black community, and he GD America. How do you respond to those things?
Well, I think each individual has their own perspective of why America and African Americans are in the situation that they are today. My personal opinion is that African Americans are taking some responsibility themselves, as well they should. But Democrats have always believed that we're working for the best interests of all working families, and we provide opportunities for all Americans.
Do you think Jeremiah Wright Jr. is wrong in what you heard just now, or right in what he said?
I don't agree with the Reverend. That's my personal opinion. I do not agree with some of the things that he feels. But, of course, he has the right to feel that way. Each individual does. I
know, but the point is some Americans elected a man to run the great country who sat under that type of teaching for 20 years, and he had to agree with it to sit there for so long.
Well, I tend to disagree with that comment. As I said earlier, simply because you are sitting and listening to a person does not mean that you agree with each and every statement that they make.
I want to take some calls for you, but first let me ask, you said at the beginning of this interview that you are a Christian.
Absolutely.
Do you support abortion?
No, I personally do not.
Do you support gay marriage?
I think each person should have the right to be with whoever they wish to be with.
Do you support that, though? Would you vote in favor of that? Into law, will you vote?
Yeah, I do support the individual rights for people to be with whom they prefer.
But you're not answering, would you vote in a law that says that should happen?
Well, I'm not a legislator. So the legislators determine that.
Hold on for me, Gerri. Let me take a break. We'll take some calls. 888-775-3773. Back in a moment.